Okay, let's read, guys. Who do you think you are? What often isn't discussed in the quest for motivation is identity. Who you are and who you think you are at your core. They say the two most powerful words in the English language are the shortest, I am. Whatever you put after those two words determines your identity. Let's say you want to stop smoking. Maybe you had a few warnings from your doctor, and you're finally coming around to the idea that you should quit. If your identity as a smoker and regularly say I'm a smoker, it's gonna be difficult to quit until you dismantle that identity. When you say you are defined by a particular action, you are essentially priming yourself to identity with and justifying a certain behavior. This is so integral to behavior change that it can't be overstated. A fascinating study out of Stanford University showed the effects of priming on participants. Research Christopher Bryan separated participants into two groups. The first group responded to a questionnaire that included phrases like to vote and questions like how important is it to you to vote? The second group's questionnaire had slightly altered questions like how important is it to you to be a voter? Emphasis added, the participants were also asked whether they plan to vote in the upcoming elections. Later, researchers used public voting records to confirm whether the participants had voted or not. Brian and his team found that the participants whose survey included personally identified statements like voter were 30% more likely to vote than those who were simply asked about the likelihood that they would vote. When you considerably when you consciously decide to identify with the habit or goal you want to create or achieve, or consciously unidentify with the habit you no longer want, you'll experience enormous power. If you've been telling yourself all of your life that you are a slow learner or that you can't learn, you might start telling yourself, I am a fast and efficient learner. Instead, the highest drive we have is to act consciously with how we perceive ourselves. It's one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Use it to your benefit. A hierarchy, a hierarchy of values. Next, we need to consider our values. You can set up the most well thought out habits, but if your values are not in alignment with the ultimate goal, you're not gonna do it. For example, someone who wants to remember people's names should value relationships and their connection to other people. Your behavior has to support your values in some way, or there is no drive for it. Our values have a hierarchy to them. If I asked you what's most important to you in life, you might tell me family is one of your core values. I would then ask what family does for you. For me, it provides love. For you, it provides belonging. The important distinction here is that family is a means value, a means to an end. The end value is actually love or belonging. When you look at core values, we can determine whether the value we've stated is an end or whether it evokes something else. Values need to be prioritized. My values are love, growth, contribution, and adventure. In that order, each value builds on, and contributes to the next. One's values tend to not change from year to year unless you experience life conditions that change them, such as having a kid, losing a loved one, or any relationship, to name just a few. When we're unaware of our values and the values of the people closest to us, it creates a space for conflict to arise. Discord usually results from values conflicting. Let's say your values include adventure and freedom. If your partner values safety and security, it's no surprise that you'll often be at odds. It's not that one set of values is right and the other is wrong, it's that they aren't in alignment. Let's say both of you highly value respect, but what you consider to be respectful or disrespectful differs. There's still room for disagreement unless you've talked about what constitutes respect. Finding your reasons. When it comes to doing anything in life, reasons rewards. My story is evidence that feeling good is not required to feel motivated. If I waited until that day, I would have stopped teaching others to learn better when my sleeping problems escalated. And besides, how many times have we felt good on a given day and still not done what we said we would do? You could feel amazing and still get nothing if your reasons for doing so are not strong enough. Reasons that are tied to your purpose, identity, and values will sufficiently motivate you to act even in the face of all of the daily obstacles that life puts in your way. The healthy 70-year-old doesn't go to the gym at 4:35 a.m. because he likes it. He goes because maintaining his health so he can continue to be with his family's motivation enough to him, even though he would much rather sleep in. The good student doesn't pick up her textbook because she's in a good mood. She does it because she wants to ace that test, so she has the best chances of landing the internship that will lead to her dream job. It's likely that there's a good reason behind every task you need to accomplish, even the unpleasant ones. You don't love making dinner, but you want your family to eat well, and you understand the dangers of over-reliance on takeout and fast food. You're uncomfortable giving speeches, but you know that your team is relying on you to rally the whole organization behind your project at the conference. You find economics daunting and a little boring, but you need the class to get your marketing degree, and you can wait to put your marketing skills to work in the real world. If you're struggling to find motivation to learn or to accomplish anything else in your life, there's a good chance you have uncovered the why of the task. Consider your passion, your desired identity, and your values. How can they create the basis for your reasons? You already know that you're much more likely to remember something when you're motivated to remember it. Conversely, if you don't find any motivation in knowing someone's name, you're gonna forget it as soon as you move on to the next conversation. Let's say your passion is to help people forge better relationships. You identify as a connector, and one of your core values is love. Your reason for learning to remember names could be simple to find. I want to learn to remember names so that I can be better connect with people in my community and help foster a stronger network of people I care about.